Man Up Inc. is a non-profit organization located in the East New York neighborhood of Brooklyn. They held their first ever Manhood Conference and Resource Fair on January 16, 2016. The conference took place at the Van Sicklen Community Middle School under the Fatherhood Initiative pillar.
And so this pillar right here particularly deals with the men and the boys of the community, and the fathers and the sons. You know, we wanted to make sure that we get a chance to concentrate on, manhood in a number of different ways.
This men-only meeting is one of Man Up's personal development services to the community. It brings together all the men and boys of the organization to have manhood development conversations and for them to also benefit from the resources that Man Up and their community partners offer.
I came to this conference to just learn, be educated, try to learn something, take something from it. Just being around positive black men, strong black men, and seeing hearing their story and seeing what they might have went through and hearing what they might have went through, and applying their lessons to my life as it relates to just, not even just fatherhood, but just, being a man in total.
This meeting was also attended by participants who came to support the Fatherhood Initiative.
So we are encouraged as men in the neighborhood by this initiative, and we're going to do everything we can do to support that. A lot of the organizations here, they already been active in their own sphere of influence and to try to stem violence and improve our community. But I think right now, a coalition is being pulled together that we can make a demonstrative difference.
While some speakers partnered with Man Up to do workshops, one of the workshops was about growing from boys to men.
Basically what I was laying down was some principles of what it is to be a responsible man, to be a man who is not only accountable to himself, but to his family and to his community. We talked about some of the challenges that young black men face in society and how they need to be armed with a different set of tools in order for them to be successful. We talked about the images that are created that portray them as violent and predatory that are false. And then we reached back to yesterday and talked about the fact that they are descendants of greatness, that they are the sons of kings, and that they are the descendants of men and women who laid the foundation not only of humanity but of civilization. And so we began to talk about how do we present positive role modeling for men? How do we begin to demonstrate the principles that we discuss? How do we begin to show young men the path from boyhood to manhood? How do we create a rite of passage, an environment, and the conditions that allow them to reach their fullest potential? And so we had a very robust discussion. There was a lot of interaction. We had quite a number of young men in the audience, and we were so pleased to walk away with some basic principles, that we would greet each other when we see each other on the street, we would greet young men, that we would give each other a hug from time to time, that we would show love and respect for each other, and that we would actually be the change that we want to see.
Heavenly Father, we ask of you at this moment to bless each and every one of these elements. And we ask, Father, oh Lord, for you to keep us in unity, each and every one of us, at this moment. Not only right now, but when we go home, we can speak to young brothers, we can speak to everybody else and unify and make a difference in our community. Amen. Amen.
The conference speakers also talked about love and the need to reach out to help young people in the community.
So you heard me earlier saying that our young men, our young black men, they're screaming, they're crying out for guidance. But there was something that Divine Prior said earlier. He said that they want to know that you care. They want to know that you feel some kind of passion for them. And I had a young brother come to me, I said earlier, who was, he was a gangbanger. He carried plenty of guns, but he was tired of that life. He said he had a child coming on the way. He said he didn't want to do that no more. And I said, well, what do you want to do? He said, I want to care for my child. I want to get a job. He said, they're offering me a job in construction. And I told him, I said, all right, I'll give you some money and I'll pay for you to get your OSHA card. He got his OSHA card. I drove him, picked him up from his house and drove him to the place where they were doing the training for the OSHA card. He got his OSHA card and he got a job. And he said to me, he said, Brother Ron, I appreciate this here. He said, you know, you're a pretty cool guy. He said, I never thought you would just even talk to me or take time with me. I told him, I love you, man. I said, but you have to love yourself. You got to feel. I was a parole officer in Brownsville. You know what they say about Brownsville. I'm from the Ville. I never ran, never will. Some of the same cats that were in Brownsville, that were under my parole supervision, they told me, said, Mr. Stewart, that's what they called me. He said, you care about me more than the so-called father that I had. He said, you more a father to me. So there's an emptiness, and that we have to replace. There's an emptiness in these brothers that feel that no one cares. That's a human quality. I don't care how much money you have. People want to know that you generally care about them.
I'm 16. I'm having a baby on the way. I'm trying to do the best for me and my baby and my family. The only reason why I came here was because I needed help, because I couldn't do it. I want them to teach me how to be a good parent.
I'm so happy to be here today because this young man, he knows that he has all the resources that are available for him right here at his own step, right here from East New York, right where he at, right here. Man Up Inc. and this Gershwin Center. He could be anywhere he want to be right now, and he's just so young, so he's going to get a chance to be a better person at such a young age. And I just look at him and say, I was his age at one time, so I know exactly what he's going through. And even though times is a lot different, the support is going to be there for him to make things happen for him, a better life than he doesn't even know yet, because we didn't have these kind of, opportunities that exist. We have raw natural care, but now there's a lot of opportunities out here for him. So we want him to know about these resources that are right here for him and other younger men in our community. I can't just thank him enough, because he could be doing anything on this Saturday morning, but he's here, he's a young father, and we're here for him to support him.
Also present at the conference were various neighborhood partner organizations that provided resources, vital information, and free legal representation to conference participants.
What we do is provide legal wraparound services to all the organizations that are implementing Cure Violence initiative. So we provide legal services to the program participants for Man Up's Cure Violence program, as well as the employees for the Cure Violence program and the community that they service within the catchment area. So today, this is an event where we felt it's needed to be in the community, provide this information to educate and empower the community that we're servicing. And for the young men who are here, we want to provide them information, and if they have any specific questions, legal questions or issues they're facing, and they want to speak to an attorney, I'm an attorney here, to be able to have conversations with them, discuss with them, and see if and how we can assist them with whatever issues they're facing. All this information, as well as over 34 brochures on multiple topics, from criminal to different civil issues such as housing, benefits, juvenile right practice, immigration. All that information is located in the Man Up office, and they do know how to contact us to assist any community member that goes there for assistance.
Drugs is another problem young men face, and participants at this conference are also tackling it in the community.
We do prevention counseling to the youth. I work with over 10 to 20,000 youth every year, dealing with self-esteem, peer pressure, decision-making, bullying, gangs. It's called Life Skills. And I counsel the youth and talk to them about their problems. I deal with drugs prevention, teenage sexuality, gangs. Like I said, we work with all youth in New York City.
The conference participants also said it doesn't take much to reach out to the community.
No, you start right there in your home. You might have a nephew, you might have a brother, or you might have an uncle that are having problems and not being able to see. I want these brothers to come forth and come out of this conference saying that, man, I can do something. I can start in my home. Start on the weekend. Set up some kind of program on the weekend. Go to the local school. Talk to the principal. Say, listen, you got some young boys that you're having some problem with. Start right there. I want the men to come with from here knowing that they can make a difference. And they don't have to have a large group of people. They can just start with one young man, because they're all out there. Once we leave here, once we go on the corner on Van Sickland, we can go on the corner of Stanley. We'll see some young men standing out there. Reach out to them, knowing that you can make a difference.
At the end of the conference, Participants said it achieved its goal.
The conference was excellent because it gave a chance for the fathers to hear, to give them direction of how to deal with their youth. They talked to them and gave them, build up their self-esteem and build up their knowledge of themselves so that way they can take it back out and give it to, talk to the youth, talk to the young people about their problems and their issues.
This Fatherhood Conference is just one of the initiatives that Man Up Inc. carries out in East New York.
We have summer camp, after school, job readiness programs, the Cure Violence program, which I am a site manager for, the Fatherhood Initiative. We have a music and arts department. Right now, Brother Mitchell is creating a program where we could teach the young children how to be entrepreneurs and learn how to open up stores and sell things for themselves. And there's a whole list of other things that Man Up does. And it's just you know, it's a blessing for working with his company and help service our community.
Man Up Inc. has existed for almost 11 years, and it's mainly located in the East New York area with sites in Brownsville and close to the new Gateway Mall and still expanding.
I think Man Up has had an incredible impact on the communities that it services. I mean, I'm a perfect example of that. You know, I was running the streets, I did time, and because of Man Up, I was able to change my life around. And today, I'm providing for my family, and Man Up is providing for many families throughout the community.
Man Up was created following the shooting death of 8-year-old Deshaun Hill by a stray bullet on his way from school. The Cure Violence Initiative is therefore one of Man Up's flagship programs. Here is how the program works.
Well, our teams go out every day, they canvass, they speak to the people, they give out palm cards, we post up posters, we find out who are the ones that are actually in the community doing the shootings, and we approach them because we know them. We can relate to them because we were once doing the same thing. So we have a certain amount of respect given and coming from them, right? So if I know you my whole life and you know I was out there doing the same thing that you may be doing now, and I approach you with respect and try to get you to understand the repercussions of the positions you put yourself in if you continue to live like this, hopefully you'll give me your ear and we can come to some conclusion. We use a lot of reflective listening when we confronted a motivational interviewing, when we confronting these young or older individuals, female or male. And that's some of the tools that we use, and it's been very successful. You know, we can't stop it all, but we're doing a damn good job at reducing it. And also, after we mediate something, we have outreach workers who actually take them under the wing like a big brother. Something like a parole officer, we would never lock you up. Like, we're not putting you in jail. We always respecting what it is that you choose to do with your life. But if you want to get your life together, you have a brother or a sister that's willing to dedicate their daily time, not just their 8 hours, even extension of that, they work hours to help you get your life together. So if I have a participant who I know is, you know, susceptible to probably use gun violence, I would take him under the wing and I would find out what it is exactly that he wants to do with his life. So if he wants to get a job but he has no ID, then he might say, yo, Brother Tiz, I want to get an ID first, you know, and then I want to try to get a job. I don't just send him on a job interview. I don't just send him to get his ID. I go with him. I go knock on his door. I meet his parents. If I don't already know them, I get him out that bed. I try to, you know, project that, you know, getting off your tail and doing something with yourself is what's going to help you, and not just feeling like I got to do something wrong because everything is not happening for me the right way. So that's what the outreach worker does. And we also have hospital responders. When someone is shot, we have 3 hours to respond to the hospital. In our case, we deal with Kings County. So once somebody's shot, we get a call from a social worker or a doctor, like Dr. Gore in Kings County, which is a emergency room doctor that works with Man Up close. And we respond to the hospital, and after that person recovers, we try to get them to understand what we do and that we are here to help, as well as the hospital caring for your wound. We trying to care for the wound in your mind. And then also, sometimes you might have family members and friends on the visit floor and they're erratic because their loved one has just been shot. So we also have to know how to read that situation and help to mediate that to stop the retaliation. So those are the 3 levels of what we do. So we have a violence interrupter, an outreach worker, and we also have a hospital responder. And the violence interrupters, their basic goal is to mediate. The outreach workers' basic goal is to help provide the services. And then the hospital responder is the person that comes to the hospital and tries to make sure that you're okay. And then he becomes an outreach worker because he's going to provide you with services and this, that, and the third.
Man Up is doing such a great service to this community. But of course, funding is the main problem this organization is facing.
Well, to be honest with you, there's no one else out there like Man Up that's servicing the people to bring them to a point where they still have some type of faith and belief. You know, we don't have a lot of faith and belief in the system. I'm talking about the community. So Man Up is just that bridge to let everybody know that there is someone out there that cares and wants to help. So I think Man Up is a perfect example of that. And if we had other Man Ups throughout neighborhoods and communities like this one, it'll be extraordinary. But unfortunately, you know, it's not really easy to get programs like this spread around the state and the country due to the lack of funding, you know. So once we get more funding and more help from this country that we living in, you know, then we'll have Man Ups everywhere. But for those companies out there that do have Man Ups or something sort of like Man Up, we're just doing the same work that they out there doing. Well, it's a non-for-profit. You know, Man Up is funded by the state, elected officials, Councilman Charles Barron and his wife Inez Barron, local leaders who just believe in what we're doing and saying, you know what, I got the money, let me write a check for these brothers and sisters who are out there doing the work that seems to be hard for everyone else to come out and do that work.
Women and boys and girls groups are not left out of this organization.
We also include services for women. We have a component that's called Women Up, which is our Women of Man Up, because we also have women and sisters that are a part of our company. We service boys and girls in a number of different ways. Our summer day camp programs, our all-boy camp, and our all-girl camp. These are things that we do different than other nonprofits are doing in the community. And most, like I said, 99.9% of the people that work with the company are members of the community, and that's what, to me, makes it a success.
At this time, Man Up is proud to say they have accomplished a lot so far.
Since we've been doing the Cure Violence piece, which I can speak mostly on, today makes 599 days nobody shot and killed in one of our target areas. And the target area that I'm speaking about is the one that I manage, and that's between Pennsylvania, Sutter, Riverdale, and Snedeker. Unfortunately, somebody was just shot, but nobody died. We count the days nobody has been shot, and we count the days that nobody has been killed. So for us to know that somebody has been shot, but they didn't die, it's an accomplishment for Man Up. And we've reached 200 and some odd days. Our other target area is in 400 and something days nobody killed, and I believe 100 and something days nobody shot. So the work that we do as far as getting out there and mediating these conflicts stops and reduce a lot of gun violence. Because we can't, let me correct myself, we can't stop it, we reduce it. And we reduce it by putting ourselves in front of the idea of someone wanting to kill somebody else.
I'm very proud of this community-based grassroots organization. We're in our 10-plus year now of being on the ground in a very organized fashion. Our organization now is in a number of locations throughout the borough. We service in several schools. We are working inside the hospitals, the detention centers. So we actually have an opportunity to create opportunities for people from the community, use them in a way that they are most valuable by deploying them back into the neighborhood as trained professionals. And we do that in a number of different ways at Man Up.
ManUpInc.org is our website. You could go online. I'm quite sure to be running across your screen soon as well as I'm saying it. You can Google us. All the different role players of Man Up are on our website. Our emails are up there. You can contact us, send us an email, and let us know what it is that we can do for you and hopefully what you can also do for us, because this is a, one hand wash the other type of thing.